Censored Scripture. Why Lilith is cooler than your girl. Welcome to Truth Duel Official. In this video, you will learn about an ancient biblical succubus, feminist icon, and Adam's first wife before Eve, Lilith. You'll want to stick around till the end of this video to learn what Walt Disney Productions and the Bible have in common. But first, I am your host, Misinformation. If you like this channel, make sure to subscribe to receive more great religious history, misinformation analysis, and other sentiments and ramblings that please and amuse us. And become a truth dueler. Because only you can slay misinformation at its source. Get our app on truthduel.com. What if I told you that Adam, the first man made by God in the Garden of Eden, is actually a divorcee, and Eve is just his rebound crush? Would you believe me if I said that angels threatened his first wife with drowning because she was tired of boring missionary position? It's not that far-fetched, so stick around to the end of this video to learn how Lilith transformed from a Babylonian goddess of the night to a symbol of Jewish woman's empowerment. And don't feel bad if your girl is upset that she'll never be as cool as Lilith. Honestly, we all wish we were as cool as Lilith. So much coolness. There's one woman who comes close though, and that's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. To learn more about her, check out Why AOC is Cooler Than Your Girl. Lilith's roots are in the religions of the Fertile Crescent, specifically in Sumer, but amulets with her name and image also appear in Greek, Israelite, Babylonian, and Egyptian culture. These amulets aim to protect pregnant women and newborn babies from harm, as well as to prevent Lilith from copulating with people in the night. Sorry, did I say Lilith? Because I meant Liliths. Originally, Lilith was not a singular entity, but a term for demons we would now call succubi and incubi. These demons represented anxiety about infidelity, birth defects, and miscarriages, plus humanity's oldest and greatest fear of things that go bump in the night. In the modern day, succubi are now cutesy anime girls? Really, Japan? The medieval era introduced Lilith in the way we think of her now. In the Zohar, a 13th century Kabbalistic text, Lilith is the partner of another famous demon, Samael. Or perhaps you know him as Asmodeus, the prince of lust. And before you ask, yes, he's also been turned into an anime character. I used an interesting word just then, Kabbalistic. What is that? Kabbalistic refers to Kabbalah, which can be translated as mysticism. Specifically, Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism that seeks to understand the hidden mysteries of God. If you want to learn more about occultism, take a peek at our video on Censored Scripture, JUDITH, the teacher's pet. Back to the Zohar. In it, God is concerned that Samael and Lilith would have too many demonic children. So God castrates Samael. Lilith, unsatisfied, then preys on sleeping men, making this tale a clear example of how older myths are repurposed in religious text. Maybe knowing this story will win you an extra point at Demonology Trivia Night. The Zohar also states that Adam and Lilith were once the same being. Instead of making man and women, God originally made an androgynous being that was male on one side and female on the other before separating them into two. This is actually a scientific phenomenon, with the affected individual being called a Gynandromorph. It's most easily seen in species where the male and female are sexually dimorphic, such as this northern cardinal and stag beetle. However, the most detailed medieval text about Lilith is the alphabet of Ben Sira. The story begins like this. When the first man, Adam, saw that he was alone, God made for him a woman like himself from the earth. God called her name Lilith and brought her to Adam. They immediately began to quarrel. Adam said, "You lie beneath me." And Lilith said, "You lie beneath me. We are both equal, for both of us are from the earth." And they would not listen to one another. Poor Lilith. Maybe she'd do better in the Wild West if she wanted to ride cowgirls so badly. Regardless, Lilith makes a very bold statement about equality in this excerpt. After arguing, she flies off to the Red Sea. This is a symbolically important place because this is where Moses and the Jewish people escaped slavery under the Pharaoh. Lilith's arrival here is meant to parallel her escape from servitude under Adam. 3 angels are sent after Lilith to bring her back to Adam. The angels tell her God will kill 100 of her demonic children every day for disobeying. And Lilith responds by saying that she will sicken and attack infants. The angels threaten to drown her unless she swears not to attack any infant wearing an amulet with her name, which she agrees to. Looks like the angels took their interrogation techniques from Guantanamo Bay. Why would a medieval text be full of so much girl power? One theory is that the anonymous author of the alphabet of Ben Sira was trying to reconcile contradicting information within religious scripture. In the creation story, man and women are created at the same time in Genesis 1 verse 27. However, Eve is later created in Genesis 2 after man and all other life is brought forth. Lilith's story could then be a response to this discrepancy. I guess even medieval people wrote fan fiction when there's plot holes in the original. However, our Truth Duel investigative reporters are telling us there might be a second, stranger reason. The alphabet of Ben Sira could have been an entirely satirical piece meant to mock the Bible and the Talmud. Beyond the story of Lilith, the alphabet of Ben Sira also tells bawdy stories about instances of hypocrisy and bestiality from scripture. In this case, while it's still unique that the author made Lilith a rebellious character, the medieval audience would derive greater pleasure from the couple's sexual dysfunction. Either way, it's still fan fiction. Tell us in the comments below which theory makes more sense to you and why. This is all old news. None of you are medieval Jewish scholars unless you're a time traveler. So if you want to write popular Bible fan fiction, you need to look at your contemporaries. Judith PLASKOW Goldenberg was at the forefront of reshaping Lilith with her short story entitled The Coming of Lilith. In it, Eve feels excluded by the male friendship between God and Adam. However, one day she sees Lilith outside of the Garden of Eden and is surprised to learn that Lilith isn't a demon like Adam told her. Rather, she's a woman like Eve. Eve and Lilith befriend each other, much to the dismay of God and Adam as they, quote, taught each other many things and told each other stories and laughed together and cried over and over till the bond of sisterhood grew between them. End quote. I like to imagine a modern version where Lilith tries to recruit Eve to her pyramid scheme by saying they can be girl bosses together.
Gatekeep, Gaslight, and Girl.
Another feminist rendition of Lilith's story is a poem by PAMELA HADAS. In The Passion of Lilith, Lilith is accidentally created by God, which is why she's mysterious and disorderly. She doesn't want to be subservient to Adam and asks God if he will marry her instead. He turns her down, so she leaves the garden alone, which HADAS says makes her the first liberated woman. She exiles herself to the desert and toils like the Israelites, but eventually she misses human connection and wants to carry a child. The poem ends with, quote, some self-pity, regret and indignation, but at last a certain calm and self-satisfaction for having endured. End quote. Lilith has become a symbol for women's empowerment in the Jewish and Gentile communities alike. Her story was part of the inspiration for Lilith Fair, a music festival in the 1990s that focused on female musicians. Likewise, Lilith is the name of a Jewish magazine that discusses feminism through a Jewish lens. In a shocking twist, Lilith's name also appears in connection with a villain of a beloved children's series. The White Witch from C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia is actually one of Lilith's demonic daughters. In case you didn't know that The Chronicles of Narnia is full of biblical parallels, I'm sorry to have spoiled that one for you. Misinformation wishes you well and says to Gatekeep, Gaslight and Girl boss your way out of the Garden of Eden. P.S. Aslan of Narnia represents God. Sorry, not sorry for the spoilers.
Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written.
Until next time, make sure to like our video, subscribe to our channel, and become a Truth Dueler, or you'll be turned into an anime character too.